Hello dear students. In the previous lectures in some basic concepts of chemistry, the following important topics we had completed. Its introduction, the importance of chemistry in different fields, matter classification, and uncertainty in measurements, in which we studied scientific notation, significant figures, accuracy, precision. Our whole lectures, 2 lectures remain constrained with the uncertainty in measurements. Now today's lecture main topic is your laws of chemical combination. Total 5 laws we have to study in this. What do we mean by the laws of chemical combination? Mean to say if any reaction is happening, like we are putting zinc plus copper sulfate, you very well know this is a displacement reaction. Okay. So if a reaction happens, a chemical reaction, okay, not a nuclear reaction, it's a chemical reaction. So what are the various laws a particular chemical, all chemical reactions will follow? So they are saying that these are the 5 laws. We are going to study them one by one. They are saying that these laws, particularly 5 laws, will be followed by every chemical reactions. Okay, that's why we are studying them. Let's start with the first one. First is law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Okay. In which he is saying that mass of, or you can say mass during a reaction remain conserved. Inside form, short words you can write that. Mass during reaction. Reaction first, chemical. Okay? Chemical reaction remain conserved. This is known as law of conservation of mass. Okay? Mean to say mass of reactant will always comes equal to mass of product, always. That is known as your law of conservation of law. How? Let's start with the reaction. C plus O2 converting to carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon is burning, producing carbon dioxide. Okay. So, first of all, you must pay attention. This is a balanced reaction. But if it is not balanced, if any other reaction which is not balanced, like let's start with H2, hydrogen is burning, converting into H2O. So this is not a balanced reaction. So first we have to balance it. Okay, after that we will compare the mass. How much mass become? 2 to 4. Okay, 16, 32. So total mass will become 36. Okay, and you know that H2O one molecule have 18. 18 into 2, 36. So the mass on both sides same. The same will be above 4. You know mass for the carbon, for oxygen it will be 32. The total sum will be 44. And if you calculate here, the mass will come again 44. So that's why they are saying during any chemical reaction, the mass will remain conserved. That is known as law of conservation of mass particle. Okay. Next one. Second. This is known as law of definite proportion. Instead of definite, in some books you can also get words fixed. Okay. Constant. These words can be very in different books. That law of definite proportion, law of fixed proportion, law of constant proportions. What is this law states? He is talking about a chemical compounds. That a chemical compound, any chemical compound. Okay. You can take any chemical compound, like suppose we are taking carbon dioxide. Okay, this is a compound. He is saying that mass of 2 different elements which are combined, like carbon is 12 here, oxygen is 32 here. So he is discussing that if you talk about another molecule of carbon dioxide, that is CO2, the same mass, the ratio of the masses will be the same in the same one. So obviously it is true, okay, that a chemical compound always have a fixed formula, okay, in which 2 atoms are always combined in the by mass. in the same ratio. The ratio is here comes out to be how much? 3:8. And from somewhere other, if we take the CO2 sample, the compound will be combined in the 3:8 mass always. Okay, that is known as your law of definite, fixed or constant proportion. First thing, mean to say in a chemical particle, any chemical compounds, same mass of atoms will combine with same mass of the other elements. Okay, mean to say always in carbon dioxide you will find 12 gram of carbon and 32 gram of oxygen. Okay, never in any molecule of carbon dioxide mass will get compromised, not of neither of carbon or nor of oxygen. Okay, that is your second law of chemical combination. Now let's talk about the third. This is known as law of multiple proportion. Laws of multiple proportion. Okay, what's this saying? It is saying that if two elements, any two elements combine to form more than one compound, then mass of, if two elements combine to form more than one compound. For example, let's say carbon and oxygen when combined, they can convert into carbon monoxide as well as in form of carbon dioxide. Okay, so the same elements but forming different compounds. Okay, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. So let's discuss what the laws is saying. Two elements combine to form more than one compound if, then mass of elements combines differently. Okay, differently, or mass of elements present in different compound will bear simple ratio always. What does it mean? I am explaining you. He is saying that carbon and oxygen combining to form two different compounds. Now he is talking mass of elements which is combining differently. Here is the oxygen which is combining differently. In the here oxygen is 1, here oxygen is 2. Carbon remain in the same form. But he is talking about which element whose mass is differently combined in different. So here it is present in how much amount? 16. Here it is present in 32. So the law is saying that the mass will always in simple ratio. I mean to say here it comes in 1:2. So he is saying that mass of elements which present in different compounds will be a simple ratio always, and this is a simple ratio. That's your law is explaining. If two elements forming more than one compound, at that time it is applicable. Okay, now your fourth law, that is known as law of gaseous volumes. Gaseous volume. This is talking about the gaseous. Obviously it is applicable to gaseous substances. Okay, he is saying that what the law of gaseous volume explaining. Let's say start with the example. Suppose first gas we taken is hydrogen, then we are taking nitrogen, then it is converting into ammonia. Your reactant product as well, everything is in gaseous conditions over here. Okay, that's why this law will be followed by it. So what this law is saying? He is saying that gases always combine in same ratio and produce the gases also in same ratio. Mean to say that when you balance this equation, first of all let's balance this equation. Here NH3 here, so we will multiply it by 2, it becomes 6, so 3H2, nitrogen is 2 present, so now it is balanced particle. So whatever amount if you are taking, let's take 10 ml of nitrogen. So what amount of hydrogen will be combined? Always 30 ml. So the ratio will become 3:1. So nitrogen and hydrogen, wherever you take, always they combine in the same ratio. And produce the gas is also in the same ratio, mean to say ammonia is the product which get produced. So the ammonia will produced will be 20 ml. So the whole ratio will become 3:1:2. So he is saying that this law states that the nitrogen and hydrogen always combine in the same ratio wherever you take, and the ammonia manufactured will be also in the same ratio. If you have started with the 10 ml of nitrogen, obviously your ammonia will be 20 ml will get produced. That's why law of gaseous volume states that gases always combine in the same ratio and produce the same ratio as shown by the chemical reaction. Okay, now the last one. Okay, that is also known as in short form Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law. Okay, what is state? It states that, first I am writing down your statement for that equal volume of all gases, under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. Okay, equal volume of all gases under similar conditions of temperature and pressure have equal number of molecules. Let's I brief that, explain that. Suppose this is in this container, it is filled nitrogen. Okay, and the volume of this container is particularly, you can say, 10 ml. Okay, now I have taken another cylinder which is also of 10 ml. Volume we are talking about here. Okay, not pressure, because we know that temperature and pressure for both is same. Okay, both nitrogen and hydrogen we have filled, volume is taken same amount, temperature and pressure given to both. So if you count the molecules, so molecules will be in both cases, will find out equal. That's the last statement, that equal volume of all gases under similar condition of temperature and pressure have equal number of molecules. Okay, now in other words also you can explain the same law, that 1 mole of each gas, 1 mole of each gas, you can take any gas, okay, 1 mole of each gas under STP, mean to say 1 mole, mean to say you have taken the number of molecules this time first. 1 mole, you know that 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23 molecules. So he is saying that if you arrange, you take any gas, take only 1 mole, mean to say that much number of molecules, give it under STP, mean to the fixed temperature and pressure conditions they have talking. So each gas under STP have or always have same volume, and that volume is what? Actually 22.7 liter per mole, always. Okay, under STP conditions. STP and TP are different thing. Okay, STP and TP at different thing. So at STP he is talking. So STP under it is 22.7 liter. So STP stands for what? Your pressure should be your here 1 bar, temperature 0 degrees Celsius. That is your STP condition. So you put 1 mole of any gas at STP, the volume always occupied by the gas will be 22.7 liter per mole. That is your Avogadro's law. Okay, or you can also call it law of equal volumes. So this is your 5 laws for the chemical combinations. So you will solve today. Your homework will be read these laws. Okay, and next is solve at least 2 numericals on each law basis. This is your in rough notebook particularly.